Let's start with last night's, playoff dream ending shootout loss to the Nashville Predators. As always, if you like to lay down on the couch and talk about your feelings, join us on Afterburner. Here was Rhett last night as we decided there was a myriad of issues, Dean, not just a single thing holding this team back.
But I will not point the finger at one person as opposed to the whole group. The whole group fucking failed.
Agreed.
Daryl Sutter failed. Treliving failed. Kadri failed. Huberdeau failed. Weegar was shit for most of the year. Anderson missed an open net. That's a fail. Backlund had a career high, but he didn't help the team win when he needed. That's a fail. Like, Toffoli's the only one that didn't fail you, really. Dubé didn't score enough. Mangiapane didn't score enough. Your defense wasn't that great. Tanev did get hurt. Like, the list goes on and on. You can't. If you're good enough, you score the goal.
So, yeah, some issues there. He only listed about half the roster, the GM and the coach.
Forgot some names.
So you know who doesn't have blood on their hands? Our boy, Walker Deer. And they had 23 Walker Deers. We would be in great shape.
Yeah.
I mean, they might not make the playoffs, but at least you know that given it everything they had. Unless the coach likes them. It's low money. Yeah. Lots to wrap our heads around. It did feel like the perfect, most fitting ending of the season for the Flames. There was a horrible Markstrom giveaway and an empty net goal. They really didn't get much in the way of puck luck. In fact, the other goal, aside from the Markstrom giveaway to an empty net, was off the ref's skate into an open side of the net for a tap in. They did outchance their opponents. The power play was fucking awful. Couldn't bury 4 just amazing chances in overtime. There was some weird coaching decisions, like potentially future PTO guy Nick Ritchie with the season on the line needing a goal to keep their. And yeah, they lost in extra time. There's a lot of that's the full bingo card there.
I didn't think of it that way until obviously Robert put it to print.
That's Bob Munich, our boy, by the way.
That's
Bobby Munich.
Do you know if is it Munich?
He reached out. It's not Munich, it's Munich.
Oh,
and I think I don't know if he likes Bob or not, but we're pals. Bobby.
Not a boy, Bob.
Bobby Munich.
Yeah, that all took place for sure last night.
All those things were real. None of those were fabricated. Following up on that, here's Ryan Pike with the pain of being close, but always being not close enough. That was their 53rd one-goal game if you include empty netters. They play 82. That was game 81. If it felt like, all the time they were one bounce away from winning, be it at one end or the other, it's because they were. And they only got 20 wins in those 53 games, 17 fucking loser points, I believe. It's the FLP in the column standings, fucking loser points. And more on that, by the way, 17th overtime setback, a franchise record. That's going to be a tough one to get. It's hard to be that bad in overtime, but be good enough to get to overtime enough.
Yeah, it's quite a
conundrum. And it does tie really nicely into that debate of, are they skilled enough? Or is it just dysfunction? It feels both sides of that. It really doesn't sway the ledger one way or the other. It was unusual that a guy we don't really know has established himself as a guy that will continue to get contracts in this league was picked in round 3 of the shootout, where a goal would have secured you a victory. Goal, Huberdeau, Kadri missed, shooter 3 over the boards. Well, I mean, it's clearly going to be Toffoli. He scored in Winnipeg and won the game. He was the 3rd shooter in Vancouver just a couple nights ago. And then climbing over the boards, red-faced big boy Nick Ritchie.
As stunned as anyone.
That's right. And Sutter, post-game, did say, Nick scored on him earlier this year in a shootout, which is true. I believe he was the 4th or 5th shooter for Arizona in a win over Nashville. That was one of his 5 career shootout attempts before last night.
I think it's amazing he knew that stat.
I think that's probably the exact type of prep you do. If we're going to get to extra time, what do we know? And it makes it a little more reasonable, I suppose, but it's also Nick fucking Ritchie. And here's the other thing I looked at. There's some guys that are good players that aren't good in the shootout. In his career, Elias Lindholm's 2 for 13. Tyler Toffoli, 2 for 17. Mangiapane, 0 for 4. Michael Backlund, 1 for 12. It might not have been as easy as we thought to find someone that was really good at shootouts when you got to shooter number 3. In fact, the next best guy, Lindholm, 2 for 13. One of those since arriving in Calgary.
I really have to tinkle.
Anderson at 2 for 4.
Has anyone seen Elias?
Is he back in the room? Is he okay?
Lindy, get you.
Did the concussion spotter get him?
All right, go, Richie.
You have to take a shit.
Yeah.
Usually
Rasmus Anderson at 2 for 4
Yes.
is
And
the
a guy
only
that
guy
cares.
that we think cares. Absolutely.
His last attempt wasn't great.
Well, and you know
Oh,
why?
that
It's
whole
because his
thing.
first two were the same move, and
Yeah.
he got them both times. So the third time he tried to move the goal, he was just waiting for it. So we don't know if he's got the next move in the repertoire, but there isn't a plethora of great options in this shootout.
But even with the stat that Richie had scored, and even if you didn't want to go with Lindholm or Toffoli
Yeah.
or Anderson, so like there's still other guys that you feel like
I'd throw Walker Duer out there. I would.
Oh, you'd have got roasted though if he didn't score.
more than you are right now.
No, not more than
It,
now.
it would be the same.
No.
You're putting a kid out there, dude. You would if you put the
You think
fourth
so? Do
line.
you think so?
Yes,
I think you would, but I think Walker Duer would have scored.
I think Walker Duer's made of the right
Walker
stuff. there.
Duer ran that damn UC Soros right to the end of the net.
Might not score, but it'll hurt him
Puck's
for the
in.
next shooter.
Puck is in.
But there again, it kind of comes down to the same thing as that captain material. It's like, well, who should you put out there? Well, it's not round 8.
No,
It's round 3.
this isn't Merrick Malik in the 16th round. We're
it
not
should
at the end
be-
of the bench here.
it
There
should
should
be
be some better
writ-
fucking
It
options.
should be written in stone for the year. Your first 3 guys, yeah, you 3 are
yeah,
going.
and you for sure go in 1 or 2 because if we get to 3, in case we don't even get to, like, you're for sure our 1-2 guy. I don't know. God
It's
Almighty.
weird. Another
What a
fun
year.
stat from last night. You said it. Preds very workmanlike. Not a lot of skill or
They
speed or
suck.
structure there. They got a great fucking goalie, and they're quite young. Here's our boy Darren Haynes had this from last night. Walker Duer, young guy in the Flames, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's 4 years, but 9 players younger than Walker Duer
Whoa.
suited up for Nashville last night. 5 rookies. And without Duchesne, without Forsberg, without Johansson, without Roman Yossi,
So you don't need
this blue-collar young group of muckers are still alive and the Flames are not.
That's
Ute.
weird.
You need the Ute.
So guys that want to
Hmm.
make names for themselves, trying to
Here's a list you don't want to be on. You showed it earlier. This is the same thing worded differently. Jonathan Huberdeau's largest decline in a single season. Last year's 115 to this year's 55. There is a game left. It's not a good list.
I
to
wouldn't
be
even
on.
play them.
Like, how many did Gretzky have the year before he retired? Even that wouldn't be a 60-point jump. Would it?
No.
From 60 to 0, did that? Standings in the West. Flames are done.
Okay.
Nashville's behind them in points, but they've got, obviously games playing. You were talking about these games in hand are horrible, Dean.
They've got so many more games now.
Both the Jets and the Preds have 1 Colorado,
Jeez.
1 Minnesota. They each have 2 games left. The gap is 3 points. Winnipeg, you win 1, you're in. In fact, they're probably on the regulation win tiebreak as well. So
Can you lose
Calgary is.
any points? Like, can Winnipeg, are they guaranteed?
they're at least at 93. Dean, they're not going to go backwards. More interesting is now in the East, where the Islanders stumbled. Florida is in a wild card after being out of a playoff spot for like half a year of late. Buffalo still alive, and Pittsburgh has Chicago, Columbus remaining.
You can't.
If
take
they
that lightly.
win both, they are guaranteed a spot
That's tough outs, as we've learned.
As we
around
Chicago-
these parts.
Chicago's going to show up and put you to the test. They are there.
If
to
you only
compete.
watch the Flames, you would think that Chicago Columbus could be a Stanley Cup final preview.
Yeah,
The Flames 0-2-1 against Chicago needed overtime to beat Columbus and lost in regulation in the other. They have
As I-
1 win in 5 games against those 2 fucking dopes. And it came in overtime. Shoot me in the face. Tonight's schedule. Here we go. We thought it would be a real good one, but the Leafs are going to start Zamboni driver and net, it appears, or Matt Anuska
Oh,
of the Windsor Spitfires, who I think someone's tried to identify is out at morning skate. They haven't used Samsonov in a back-to-back all year, and I'm kind of thinking this is don't show anything meaninglessville.
Oh,
You're going to play for 7 in a row here
Like-
coming up potentially.
Tampa Bay's worried about what Toronto's doing.
No, and I wouldn't show my number 1 goalie. Why?
Show them or not. Again, Tampa Bay does not give a shit what Toronto's up to.
Correct.
Play Samsonov, play whoever, play the Pope. It's irrelevant.
Brian Elliott in that for the Tampa. Who knows?
Oh,
Is the Pope good at that?
Pope got his own pads. Pope pads.
Heard his rebound control is a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Other interesting games in there. The nightcap should be a fun one.
No,
We'll see.
The top one, there's the most. That's the only one.
Tell us about it, Rhett.
Well, that's the blue and gold, the Buffalo Sabres, putting on a charge. They will not say die in Buffalo. That's their motto. Don't say die.
Don't say die is the motto. And they're playing?
Doesn't matter. Jersey.
In Jersey against the Devils, and it does matter.
Jersey's been no good lately.
Well, they lost to fucking Nashville.
Lots of losses.
Thanks, Devils. And
Is it a lot of losses?
Lost to Winnipeg as well, in Winnipeg.
They have lost one in a row.
It's a few where they haven't been great. Winnipeg and Nashville will stand out here. Edmonton, Colorado tonight should be fun. And Vegas, Seattle could be a first-round playoff preview as well, not to mention.
Am I still allowed to close the show the way I normally do now? Like
you do, I'm
bud. Starting to feel
There's no rules
sheepish.
Here. No rules here. Whatever you need to curse them in the first round, I'm here for it. Seemingly more difficult each passing day.
Trademark. Yeah.
It's maybe not the best trademark. Sorry, Ryan.
Hiatus.
I've got something that's going to spin his mood around. Did you see the big dub last night?
Oh, baby.
From Rhett's Saskatoon Blades.
Almost.
Down 2-0. Drop a pair at home. Don't sweat it. Game 7 victory. 4-1 Blades.
Nailing it.
Blame Bedard.
Right in front of almost 15,000.
And in the blame Bedard,
fries at Sask Place.
Overblown prospect leaderboard. Let's go to Connor Bedard chipping in offensively. There's his season, Rhett. 7 playoff games, 20 points.
Not enough, kid. Not enough.
Overblown, he says.
Not enough.
He was in on 77% of the Regina Pats scoring. All of it.
Still not enough.
I don't know when he was off the ice what that team looked like. When he was on the ice, he was fucking amazing.
Boom, phone Paddock. See what happens.
I don't talk to Paddock anymore. He traded team with a prick.
Hmm.
Fuck that guy. Tverdovsky and Chad Kilger. Get a pick or something.
Good players.
Other WHL news. Let's tip the cap to Calgary boy Chase Wheatcroft. No, that's a good prairie name right there. Wheatcroft. We go to some video here. As it's been a long time down in the dumps in PG. Well, hang on. Hold on to your hat. Here's a Calgarian with a cape.
Who doesn't love the Cougars?
Good goal. 16 years.
Who did they play? Because the team that they're playing just went, son of a...
They won't let us fly? What? You're making us bus? Here's your playoff tree. You asked for it. Round 2 of the WHL playoffs looks exactly when this, anytime now, like this. There were no Saskatoons through. They get the Rebels. Look at that, eh? That's a Saskatoon Red Deer. Like that.
Who's playing? The Blades play the Rebels?
Blades Rebels.
Let's go up there.
Obviously, I'm very excited.
Sutter can get us a ticket.
Winnipeg Moose Jaw. That's okay for travel. Kamloops Portland's going to be a bit of a hike. And Seattle PG, that border and that.
Gross.
I like the East Division travel a little better. Not often you say that.
Be a long drive for the Seattle Thunderbirds.
We'll move.
Either sweep or get swept. That's what I'd be saying to my team. You lose game 1, okay, we're done.
10 hours.
Boy, this is really, really a non-traditional tactic. Coach Molberg is suggesting his team get swept because he's sick of the travel.
551 miles. Is that
It's
all?
Could be worse. A lot of kilometers, right? Almost 1,000. Jays will be at home. The new dome. It's halfway done, the renos. We heard the power rankings of the bars in the outfield. They've redone the 500s, 300s, 200s. Next offseason will be the 100s. And finally, the Blue Jays, after a 10-game road trip, will have a home game this season. Manoa against Manning, Jays, Tigers. The Rays will follow up. Anyone seen the standings? The Tampa Bay Rays yet to lose.
Dummies.
Remember when we flashed the AL East odds? We're like, why does the Rays never get love? You should bet the Rays every year. Yeah. They're fucking 10-0.
This only happens
every year. Wow, this year the Rays will be bad. Why? They're never bad.
It's a bunch of guys I've never heard of.
You've always never heard of them.
Wait till July.
And once you hear of them, they trade them for more kids you haven't heard of.
Randy Rosa. I don't know who this guy. I don't know who these people are.
Al Albuquerque? The hell are we talking about? Pete Fairbanks? Anyway, they're still good. of note, some trophies to hand out tonight. Look at that. The crime dog, Fred McGriff. He'll throw out the first pitch. Do you know? Alejandro Kirk, Silver Slugger, Romano, Tip O'Neill. That's for the top Canadian baseball performer of the year. And Vlad Guerrero Jr., a Gold Glove at first base, will all get their awards. Should be a fun one for the sold-out capacity crowd. Elsewhere, NBA play-in tonight. Rhett, are you still a part of the North? 7 against 8 seeds will play tonight. Winner will go into the tournament as the 7 seed. The loser will play the winner of the 9-10 matchups. Raptors 9, Bulls 10. You win that, you get the loser of the 7-8. You win that, you're in the playoffs. Feels like a lot of work to be a part of the North.
I thought they were totally screwed and out of it, but if they're in the playoffs, I'm back.
Well,
baby.
it's a play-in tournament.
Can you imagine if I had to put that together?
Holy shit. You'd have a heart attack before that happened.
Gold Globetrotters would be playing. Mess.
That's, I think, making you draw this up would be essentially like giving you a lobotomy. That would break your brain, I think.
Why doesn't the NHL do this? More games. See, the Flames would be playing.
Yeah, you want more Flames Preds after that last night?
Mm-hmm. All or nothing. Win,
Okay.
you're in.
Okay. And finally, Rhett, big decision tonight. Now, he's a huge Jays guy, actually a huge fan of the AL East. Yankees fan, Bo Sox fan, Jays fan, soon to be Rays fan.
So fish and chips or chicken pot pie, Dean?
Which jersey does he wear when he's eating his chicken pot pie? There's so many great stories out there. Oh, dear.
I never liked Stroman.
So that guy's not allowed in the building. That guy did a heinous thing. And
Yeah, they took
That
his
guy's
name off the wall.
Bad choices.
Jesus.
From all three.
Rhett, that's just tough luck, man. Those
I'm
are
trying
the
to
jerseys
support
you have to
the team.
pick from?
Trying to support the squad.
Frig.
Screwed me over. I got to buy another one now.
Where are the good apples here?
Holy.
I
Don't
feel like
meet your heroes.
you got to go Stroman in the 6, and that's
So, yeah.
that's tough, I guess.
Just take the name off the back. I'll keep the number.
Jeez, that's your Pinder report.
Did they give out 12,
12.
the number, the jersey number, or is that still?
Ooh, I don't know.
Bad vibes there, Dean. I don't think you want
I
it.
think you probably just pretend that number doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
But what if you came up and you were cranking homers your whole
Don't
life?
give 'em
Number
12.
12. Tough.
Or do McCain Punch commercials?
That's that
Let 'em
taste.
do it. Village Honda. Turn your vehicle into cash. The $1 million buy-in event. They'll buy your vehicle even if you don't buy theirs.
Pretty nice.
Sellers receive a tropical cruise for 2 exclusively at Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall and online at Village Honda.